Baltimore Ravens, I saw somebody here up here said it first, right? Somebody said, yeah, they're doing all this work just to lose to the Lions in the Super Bowl. And I got to thinking, guys, are the Baltimore Ravens really a Super Bowl caliber team? Can the Baltimore Ravens really go out there and make it to the Super Bowl, make a competitive game out of the Super Bowl if they even do make it there? And the answer to that question is simple. It is no. It is no. The Baltimore Ravens are not a Super Bowl caliber team. They have a great offense. Derrick Henry is doing his thing. Lamar Jackson playing at another MVP level. Yes, they got a receiver for whatever reason, right? They still got Jay Flowers and they got Deontay Johnson now. Of course, Isaiah Likely is out, but they still got the other tight end. His name's slipping my mind. But the Ravens have a high-flying offense. They have a high-flying offense, and they had a high-flying offense last year, and the year before that, and the year before that. But what always happens to the Baltimore Ravens, and like in the playoffs, is they come up there and they shit the bed. They've been running the ball down people's throats all season long. Keaton Mitchell was supposed to make a comeback. Should be as early today. We'll know at 4 p.m. East Coast time if he's active or not. But everything points that he will be active tonight. So they're going to keep running the ball with Keaton Mitchell and Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. But every time they get to the playoffs, they think they got to get into the shootout. And they always shit the bed. And their defense is terrible. You can blame it on the young play calling. You can blame it on this. You can blame it on that. But the simple fact of the matter is that their defense is not very good. And it's weird to say that the Baltimore Ravens defense is not very good, but they suck this year. I don't know what it is. Play calling, players, it doesn't matter. They're not very good. And they did nothing to get better during the trade deadline to make their defense better. And this is why ultimately the Baltimore Ravens will not be a Super Bowl team yet again this season. It's not because of the level of play of Lamar Jackson. It is not because of the level of play of Derrick Henry or Zay Flowers or Harbaugh, right? It's the fact that their defense is not very good. And I know what you guys are saying. Oh, just they're going to keep running the ball. Derrick Henry's going to run it down your throat, yada, yada, yada. Okay, great. It takes you 8 minutes to score the ball. You play the Kansas City Chiefs. It's going to take them 8 minutes to score the ball. Their offense is getting better and better and better. They shut you down for one play. You're going for score. All of a sudden, you're like, oh, man, piss runs down your leg. You start to pass the ball into the heart of the Kansas City Chiefs defense, and that shuts you down. You can do that to the Buffalo Bills. The same thing would happen. Do that to the Cincinnati Bengals. Probably the same thing's going to happen. The point of the matter is, guys, the Baltimore Ravens are not a Super Bowl team, whether you like to admit it or not. Casey says, have they even played a top 5 defense this season, meaning the Baltimore Ravens? And looking at their schedule, Casey, let me pull it up. I do not believe so. I do not believe they played a defense worth a damn besides the Kansas City Chiefs so far this season, right? They lost to the Kansas City Chiefs week 1. Actually, the Kansas City Chiefs are not a top 5 defense. They're ranked 8th right now. So let's broaden that term from top 5 to top 10, right? Just to give them a little bit more boost and confidence about themselves, right? Kansas City Chiefs, they did play a top 10 defense there, but they lost that game. Raiders was a top 10 defense the last 3 weeks of the 2016 NFL season. No. Cowboys defense sucks. The Buffalo Bills defense is mid-tier. They are not in top 10. Bengals defense is not top 10. Commanders, I don't know. They're probably right there on the cusp of like that 8, 9, 10, 11 mark. So we'll give it to them there, right? Buccaneers defense, no. Browns defense, no. Broncos defense, yes. Broncos defense is ranked number 6 right now, I do believe. So they have played 3 top 10 defenses in their week 9 games, right? However, versus the Kansas City Chiefs, they did lose 27-20. When they played the Commanders, they did win 32-23, but I think if they were to play the Commanders right now, the Commanders would probably win that game. They did beat the Broncos 41-10, pretty handily. But let's just be honest, the Broncos' offense is pretty bad. It's pretty bad. So everybody else, yeah, they're racking up points, doing great. But when you make it into the playoffs, when you play the Kansas City Chiefs, when you play the Houston Texans, when you play the Buffalo Bills, defense is not very good right now, but they'll get better. They'll get better, right? The Bills defense has got Von Miller and all those healthy players are starting to come back. They will be better. Rest of the AFC teams could possibly be in there. You can play the Chargers. They're a decent defense. We'll see how the Ravens match up against Monday Night Football. I think that's the last week of February or November. So the Ravens do have some tests coming up. They have the Chargers, the Eagles, Steelers, defense, and Texans. So we'll see how they match up. But right now, you are right, Keith. They have not played a top 5 defense this season besides the Denver Broncos last week, which even then they're still ranked 6 at that time. So they have played 3 top 10 teams, though. Casey says, I had the Buffalo Bills defense on my fantasy, and they give me negative points almost every week. So drop their asses. Drop their asses, Casey. See, fantasy is a very, very funny game, right? There are a lot of players out there, like you and me, that will drop a defense because they don't have a game like the following week, or put them on the bench and get somebody else. I just find a defense that just average and put them in there. Not going to give me negative points, not going to give me 20, 30 points, whatever. And if they don't have a game, I don't put them in there. I'll just take 0 points. It is what it is. And John has the Jets defense. Sorry about your luck. But guys, the question is, are the Baltimore Ravens